and this is our fourth Tuesday forum. And our topic today is on self-employment. And you may have heard the term micro enterprises. So we're going to talk a little bit today about self-employment right for me, and hear a little bit about the different various businesses that are thriving across Connecticut. Just a little bit of housekeeping. I want to let you know that today's session is recorded, and the session will be available on our website, on the page for Fourth Tuesday Forums. It should be there by the end of the week, maybe the beginning of next week. And so if there's someone who wanted to attend today's session and wasn't able to, they'll be able to watch the recording. Any materials that are shared today will also be available on our website. We have a number of presenters today and some really fantastic presentations lined up. So we will hold questions until the end. But as people are speaking, if you have a question, if you have a thought and you want to put it in the chat, feel free to do so. The chat is that little thought bubble icon, and we will be keeping our eyes on the chat. We'll hold the questions to the end, but that way you don't lose track. And I think that's it. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Brian Gresco from our Employment and Day Services team, and he will kick us off. Welcome, Brian.
Thank you, Deputy Commissioner. Welcome, everybody, for joining us today. We do have an action-packed agenda, so we'll move as quickly as possible so we can get to the main show with all the different folks who've started these small businesses that we're so excited about. First and foremost, just like to introduce the Employment Day Services unit at DDS, headed by our director, Amber Carter, who can't join us here today, but we do have everyone else. So again, I'm Brian Gresco. I'm the Educational Services Specialist out of the South region. Joining me is Trevor Rogers. He's out of Central Office. Daryl Spears, who is with the North region, and Kate DiStefano, who represents the West region for DDS. And so if you have any questions about employment pertaining to either, self-employment or any kind of employment questions that you have, we're certainly a resource. So feel free to reach out to us either individually, or we actually have an email that you can reach out to as well that we'll share with in the chat later on. The agenda, again, we have our introductions, which we're going through. We're going to do a very brief quiz just to test everyone's knowledge on self-employment. We'll do a very brief self-employment overview just to familiarize people a little bit more with what we're talking about. And then you see a host of there's 6 presentations that we'll be doing for individuals who have started their own self-employment journeys. There's going to be a little bit of a mix of some folks that are joining us live here today, and we also have some pre-recorded videos as well. So it'll be a really interesting dialogue that we'll be having a little bit later on. So we'll move.
Kate,
I'll just move. Yeah,
I was gonna say,
we're
because
gonna
I'm gonna have Kate pull it up. We're gonna start with a fun
Sure.
game to see if everybody is still with us, just to wake everybody up. It's gonna be very cool. So Kate is gonna pull it up. For those of you who are on a laptop or a computer right now, please take out your phone and scan this QR code or go to menti.com. If you're on your phone, you can swipe up and go to your browser and put in www.menti.com. And it's going to ask you, no matter if you're on your computer or on your phone, to put in these 8 digits below, and then you'll join the game. When you join, I think it'll say you're in, waiting for the presenter.
Mm-hmm.
Good. So we're going to give it a minute just to let everybody join, but this is going to be really cool. As you answer.
I think people are used to it, Trevor, because they're coming in quickly.
Usually I'm like trying to talk, give people time, but I think people are starting to get used to our tricks here, Kate.
Yes. And hopefully soon we'll be able to share in Teams, so it'll be a little bit easier for the audience if you're on your phone. But I think pretty much everyone is tech savvy these days, and probably knows how to do that. If for some reason you don't want to play, that's fine too. Just so you know, the answers are anonymous. We don't know how you answer, but we will see the overall, how the audience does overall. So you don't have to worry if you get an incorrect answer, we don't care. This is just to kind of activate some of that prior knowledge. It's pretty brief today because we have a lot to cover. So we're just going to have about 6 questions, and then we'll move into the overview of self-employment. So I see we're up to about 21 right now. So I think we'll give it just another minute and see if we.
And we did put the number in the chat as well as the link. As we go through the game, that piece on the top that says join@menti.com with the code will stay there. So if you get pulled out for some reason or anything like that, don't worry, it's going to stay there. All right.
What do you think?
I think we're ready. We'll see. I think more people will join once they see because they're going to have some fun.
Okay. Well, like Trevor said, there's always a way to get in, because it will be at the top of every slide. Okay, so this is just a self-employment knowledge check, like we said. And the first question, in self-employment, we often hear the term microenterprise. What's another way of saying microenterprise? You have 4 options there.
Now, Kate, I'm glad we put this one first because sometimes we use this word and people look at us like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Because we use this word all the time, but not everybody's familiar with it.
Right, and we don't need to overcomplicate it, right? Because at the end of the day, I'm going to put up the correct answer because it looks like we have a lot of votes that came in. And it just means a small business. Some small businesses are set up as like an LLC, but the term itself simply means small business. So we have a lot of people in the audience who got that correct. Now, just to follow up on that, can you name any examples of a micro enterprise? This is where you can just type in your answers. It's kind of open-ended here. No,
So-
that's okay. We love when that happens.
And if you don't know one, can you think of something maybe that would be? Or we'll give an example, Kate. For those of you who had the opportunity to attend IDD Day, it was DJ'd by DJ Joe, who owns his own micro enterprise.
Wow.
Well, and all of a sudden, Kate, look at all of these
I
businesses
know.
up here. So a lot of these are looking familiar. Some of you are going to be very excited because we have somebody who makes their own hot sauce today. Emma's Pearls is here, Cat's Cafe. We have Suds, and we have so many other individuals who are going to share some of their stories. But Kate, it looks like a lot of ideas are here.
Right. Dog walker. I love that. Landscaping company. So a lot of different examples of what could be a micro enterprise, and then obviously some that we know very well. Oh, I see a few more down here. Local egg seller. That's cool. Candle making. Yeah. Okay, great answers. So self-employment means you work for yourself, but it doesn't mean you work alone. Is this true or false?
You know, Kate, I've heard some people say this before, and I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. I think that if you own a small business, you may have to interact with people more than you might in other circumstances.
Yeah, I mean, I think no matter what you're doing, you'll have to have some type of community interaction, whether it's buying materials, talking to customers. So I think the audience is on the right track with their answer that this is true. You know, it may be your small business and you own it, but you still have to interact with your community. You still have to interact with other businesses if you purchase items to make your products.
And the business owners we're going to interview today have really great support teams. So I think that they'll be able to share a little bit about some of that too.
So this was a new statistic that we just found, according to an April 2024 report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics about how many workers were self-employed as of March 2024. I think this surprised us a little bit, Trevor.
Well, I'm just surprised because right off the bat, everybody was choosing the higher answers, the 17 and 20 million. But
Yeah.
either way, I mean, the lowest is 10 million. That's even a lot. It's looking like people are thinking 17 or 13 million though.
Right. I'm going to give it one more second, see if anything else comes in to push it over the edge. Oh, we have a tie now.
See, I think this is so cool, Kate, too, that we get to see as everybody answers where it goes.
Yeah.
All right,
So
what's the
actually
answer?
the correct answer is 17 million. Okay, so it's a pretty large number when you think about it, especially in the context of the next question. So great answers. We actually got more people going toward the 17 million. It's like you must be reading the April 2024 report. So this statistic that we just mentioned of the 17 million amounts to about what percentage of the overall workforce?
So what percentage of the overall workforce is made up of self-employed individuals?
Exactly.
Okay. Varying answers right away. But right, it looks like 15% right now is the winner.
Well, we'll give it another minute and see what happens.
Either way, Kate, 17 million is a lot of people.
Right. So this answer actually came in pretty low, but the correct answer is 10%. So the overall labor force is about 170 million people, and about 10% of those people are self-employed. Now, this is a word cloud, so the more people that say the same answer, the bigger it gets. So according to the Center for Economic and Policy Research, the share of self-employed workers has trended up since 2022. Can you guess why? Well, we have COVID, flexibility. Now, the bigger the word gets, like I said, the more people are saying that answer. Gen Z, taxes, bit economy, pandemic, work environment, telework. Really great answers.
Flexibility
Trevor,
seems to
what are
be a
you
real big
thinking
one.
though? Yeah. What are you thinking, Trevor?
Oh, I even see AI in there. I just find this very interesting
Mhm.
to see how much that's changed. So even in terms of the work we do, we've been learning more about this since COVID. So the world really has changed over the last 5 years, and it seems like a lot of people are looking into self-employment.
Right. And you could see that the biggest answer here is COVID. It is related to COVID. It's related to the pandemic shutdowns, which caused people to look at different forms of employment.
And I
So
think
great
that that
answers.
also it gave people some ideas about look at these different answers about flexibility, scheduling. There's something else I saw there in terms of like the work environment, the balance of work-life interest. So I think people have gotten really creative.
Definitely. These are great answers. Okay, our final question has to do with grant funding around microenterprise or small business enterprises. DDS eligible individuals can request how much money in grant funding to start or expand a small business enterprise? How much funding may be available? And I know some of our grant recipients know this answer
I
very
know
well.
some of you already know.
So
It looks like a lot of people are on the same page, Kate.
I think so. So actually, the correct answer is up to $5,000, which is really great. And I think, Trevor, at this point, do you have a sense of how many people have received the funding?
I know that we've had, I want to say, since this new iteration started in last May, about 20 individuals.
That's
And
great.
And there's been a lot more applications recently. A lot of people are starting to explore this option.
So that's what we're going to move into in a second, but I just want to thank everyone for participating. I think we have a sense of where everyone is. Thank you.
Perfect. I think I can pick it up from here. So we'll keep things moving. Um, at this point, what we wanted to do was just to go over just some of the different service models that are available for individuals who are supported by DDS and they're interested in employment. You can see on the screen we have a couple of probably the more used, will attract services that we have. One is individualized supported employment. We call it ISE. So we also have group support employment, GSE. We have customized employment, which is SE. We love our acronyms at DDS. So, but you can see just some of the different ways we can support individuals. ISE, again, it's more direct support, job coaching. It's really designed to help individuals who are looking to gain and maintain supports for like individual competitive and integrated employment. Our group support employments are also a great option. They really focus on developing meaningful skills to increase their individual's ability to develop work skills. We have socialization, community participation, and really getting out there while in a group supported environment. So there's a lot of support with that as well. We also have employment transition services, which is a great support, kind of like a job readiness support, where individuals can really drive home soft and hard skills as they're working towards employment, kind of deciding what exactly they'd like to do. We also have an internship program called Project Search that we work with, which is a national program, which is also a really great option as well. Highlighted in green, because we want it to stand out, is what we've been talking about, which is self-employment. And as my colleagues had mentioned, self-employment is a form of employment itself, but how is DDS really supporting that? We had mentioned just a little bit earlier that we're offering a $5,000 opportunity for individuals who are interested in starting up a small business. So that is a way for us at DDS to really support individuals who are really looking at employment from a number of different ways. I think there's always that traditional employer-to-employee mindset where it works for some people, and it's not always the viable pathway for everyone. So we're really taking a step forward in imagining what kind of employment is available for folks. And you can see here as well, why would somebody be what are some reasons why somebody might be interested in considering self-employment? It's at its basis, it's very flexible. It works to what the schedule of the individual, what they'd like to do. There's really is driven by the individual's interests and skill sets. They can really, if there's something that they're interested in doing, something that they have a knack for, they can really drive that home through the business. And but as I had mentioned, there are a lot of individuals who have tried traditional employment tracks that just have not worked out for them, and they're interested in doing something that they have a little bit more control over. So it's a really interesting option for anyone has an entrepreneurial spirit and also is really looking for maybe something different. We can talk a little bit about the how do we support that? How do people, what kind of supports do people have through DDS if they're interested in starting their own small business? Again, we could probably spend an hour or two just talking about this subject, so we'll tread very lightly because I know we want to get to the other presenters. But just wanted to note, for folks that have case manager and have traditional provider-based services, you can work with a provider agency. Typically, ISE or IDV, which is Individualized Day Vocational Services, are while they typically support individuals who are in that, like I said, that traditional employer and employee employment situation, they can also help individuals with the startup of their business and kind of walking through all the things that they need to do in terms of starting up and maintaining a small business. And then we have folks who self-direct. And again, you can manage your own staff and provide their services to your liking as well. If this sounds like something, if this sounds kind of convoluted, or maybe you have questions, I really encourage you to reach out to your DDS team, or the Employment and Day Services unit, because we could have a much more robust conversation about what exactly all this means. So feel free to reach out to us. Really love to have a conversation with anyone who's interested in learning more um, about kind of starting up a small business. I will move things over to Trevor Rogers. He's going to speak a little bit more in detail about that funding that we've been talking about. So I'll give him an opportunity to do that.
Thanks, Brian. So, as Brian said, individuals may be supported in their day or employment setting in ISE or IDV, one of our waiver services. But in addition to our waivered service funding for our individuals, we have a new opportunity that started last May where individuals who are DDS individuals and have exited the school system can apply for up to $5,000 to act on a small business, to expand it, or to maybe get one started and try exploring self-employment. Funds can be used for equipment, training, research, marketing. You will hear from some of our small business owners today how some of them were able to use these funds to expand their business. We do not let individuals spend the money on wages because we want to give the funds to help that individual get their business off the ground. So once the $5,000 is gone, they now have that business that they have left over that they can continue to build. So how do individuals apply? I'm sure so many of you are wondering that at this point, because we've said many times that DDS qualified individuals can apply for these grants. And so the first step is always to talk to your case manager and your service delivery team. One of the questions on our application will talk about your plan for supports and what you do plan to do with the funds. In addition, you should have conversations with your team about your business idea and the plan for supports and how you will spend the funds. And then finally, you submit an application online. So this flyer, we can put it in the chat after, is online. It is our DDS Micro Enterprise Funding flyer, and it goes over some of the small steps that you might want to consider before applying. It includes the link, which is an online application that individuals, their family member, or their staff representative can fill out on their behalf. So we are almost, we have just finalized this document, which is our pre-application checklist. These are just some considerations for individuals who maybe you think you want to try these grant funds, but you're not sure. Different things to consider, like what is your plan for supports? What community inclusion will you have? Will you be selling at farmers markets? How will you be selling your products? Going over some of the different administrative items, like where will the money be delivered, and the plan for the funds of how those funds will be spent in the year time that you have to spend the money. And then finally, this is also in the works. It's will be released hopefully before July. It is our self-employment guide. So we've been working very hard to put this together. It is a guide that reviews different resources, federal, state, and local resources about self-employment. It directs you to the Connecticut staff members at different agencies who this is their job to work with small business and answer some of those questions. And one of those really great tools that one of our sister agencies has created is the Connecticut New Business Checklist, where online you complete this, you answer questions, and it gives you a checklist of all different things you might need to consider. So this is in no way everything that there is on small businesses, but it will be a one-stop shop to have resources, like I said, from Connecticut, federal resources, as well as different best practices that we've learned along the way. And so if you are an individual who is awarded micro enterprise funding, we have two different paths that we've established, just like our traditional services with a qualified provider or self-direction. If you're working with a qualified provider, again, these funds do not affect an individual's budget and they work through our one-time process. If an individual is self-directing, we distribute it through our family grant process. It does not affect family grants, but we use that mechanism because it's something that we're familiar with, and that is a really great system. But we do have to note it is the responsibility of an awardee to ensure tax advice, benefits counseling, and other small business support are obtained prior to accepting a micro enterprise grant. We always recommend that individuals contact our sister agency, BRS, the Bureau of Rehabilitation Services, and talk to a benefits counselor. all of our DDS eligible individuals can make a connection with a benefits counselor to talk about employment or potentially being employed. And so we always make that recommendation. And so I'm going to hand it over now to Daryl, who is going to finish this and then start off our interviews. But he's going to talk about the newest piece of self-employment that is an amazing win that will help individuals really access this service.
Thanks a lot, Trevor. So in an effort to support individuals who are looking to get the micro enterprise funding, we developed Provider Fiscal Account Management, also known as MIC. And so what we released in March was a memo to providers to take the opportunity to serve as fiscal account managers to our individuals. We understand the importance of getting the funds to the individuals and then the individual using those funds to retrieve necessities and things that are needed for the business. And to do that in the most seamless way, we developed fiscal account management, again, also known as MIC. And so individuals can work with providers to collect the funds, as well as the disbursement of the funds, as well as record keeping. The provider agency may support the individual in administrative operations, such as legal documents and filings, taxes, compliance, as well as payroll, expenditure reporting. We are looking for more providers to take on the role of a fiscal account management. We do have some who have agreed to do so. And again, we have initiated this as a new service so that individuals have a seamless way so they don't have to be concerned about the money going into their account, affecting their benefits and so forth. So any questions in regards to any of the slides that have been provided?
And I don't think we were going to answer questions yet. I just wanted to make sure that we went over, sorry to interrupt, Daryl, that
No
if
worries.
you have a question about the grant specifically and you want to access these funds, please contact your case manager first to have that conversation. If you're a provider agency and you need more information about fiscal account management, maybe, please contact your resource manager or the EDS team. Anyone else, any DDS staff, you're always welcome to contact the EDS team as well as anyone else. Our email is there below for the employment and day services, as well as a specific email we use for our micro enterprise awards. And so without further ado, I think we are done with, I don't want to call it the boring part, but you're about to see why I call it that. I think I'm going to hand it over back to Daryl and then Kate. I think you're going to come up to introduce our first business owner.
Thank you very much, Trevor. We will start with Suds Biz, Stephen, and Marjorie. Are you guys on the call? Excellent. Feel free to unmute to introduce yourself.
There we go.
I just found it. Hi, I'm here with my brother Stephen, who's moving around a lot, so he's not showing up with the screen. This is Stephen.
Hi, Stephen.
is 65 years old, and he's was sent into the system when he was 11 years old. And my sister and I just brought him home about 2.5 years ago. So it's a big adjustment for all of us, but it's exciting. And there's a lot unfolding, including Stephen is just starting to talk for the first time in his life. And
That's
we
incredible, Marjorie. You had mentioned that to us before, and did you say he was using a device?
Yes,
Has a device?
we
Stephen.
don't have it today. We started with flashcards in the
Okay.
car. He would get very anxious in the car, and so I felt like he needed some good distraction. So we started with flashcards, and I found some that were photographs, which I think are really great because they're very recognizable for what they are, which I thought the drawings sometimes are a little harder to interpret. He's
Well, we're
obsessed with writing his name, but he refuses to write it correctly. So it's this interesting kind of battle of wills. He wants us to recognize Stephen as the way he likes to spell his name.
Okay.
And so I'm, not freaking out. I just say, okay, that's not it, but that's okay. But there's Stephen, here's Stephen. But, we refer to him interchangeably sometimes as Stephen and Stephen. And
Well,
he
we're
knows
really
the difference. He's doing it
We're
on
really, really excited that you're here today because you had this concept for a business. Do you want to tell us a little bit about SUDS and what it stands for and why you are working to start that business?
We're talking about you. The concept initially came. Well, I went to a really great convention that DDS held. I forget exactly where it was. It was upstate for us. We're downstate, and I saw a presentation, a video, and presentation that Darlene Boré gave, and at that point, I really didn't think Stephen would be appropriate for this program. I just thought it was interesting. But then as she shared more about what she had done with her own son, who is pretty far over on the autism scale and considered to be nonverbal, as Stephen is, but he's doing really well with his project. And it was just really uplifting to see this example of how he works and other people. I thought it was a great presentation, and Darlene is very welcoming and reassuring, and I went up to talk to her afterwards, and that's how she was. She said, "Oh, absolutely, let's see what we can do."
So how did you, where did the interest come for SUDS? It sounds like Darlene was sort of a catalyst for you wanting to get into self-employment, but how
Right.
did you come up with SUDS? How
I
does that
saw
relate
that
to Stephen?
her son makes he loves shredding paper. That's one of his things. And so he makes these shredded paper packages that you can use to start fires, whether it's in a fireplace or a barbecue or whatever. There are these really colorful, cellophane packages of shredded paper. And that's just what he loves to do. So I thought, well, what does Stephen love to do that's similar? And Stephen is just obsessed with Legos and always has been, probably always will be. And he also really loves bubble baths. And from there, I've been concerned about he had terrible psoriasis when he was in the state system. It's doing much better now. And I thought, well, what about a soap that would be good for people with psoriasis or eczema? And from what I understand, a lot of people in this population have those issues. There's some reason. And so I thought it would be something that would be good for him and good to share with other people. And it would give us kind of a theme to stand out with. And so
And I think you said there's a special ingredient that you're hoping to put in the soap. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, one thing is to make the soaps with glycerin-based soap. It's very simple. I'm allergic to soap myself, so I've gravitated toward that. And I also like that it's transparent. And so we want to put embedded things in there, like keychains. In the picture that we provided, there's a little Mickey Mouse keychain. Stephen loves Mickey Mouse. But we're also looking at doing characters out of Harry Potter, which we would have to modify to not be stepping on their trademark toes. But it could reference to it without being exactly a Harry Potter character. And one of my favorites is the flying horse, the hippogriff. It's like a griffin, but it's part horse. And they make, I think it was Disney, made keychains like that. And so if we make something similar but different, then we can reference it without violating their copyright or trademark rules.
I
And
think it's a great concept, as I'm sure a lot of people have sensitive skin, eczema, psoriasis, whatever, and even little kids. Who doesn't love Legos? So you're combining his
Right.
passion for Legos with something that's actually very practical for him. Yeah, I think
with a
it's
real need, and yeah.
yeah. Daryl, did you
So-
want to? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, if you don't mind. So I'm curious to know in this process, what has been the most exciting for Stephen? What has he enjoyed the most from the moment you all made the decision that you wanted to pursue self-employment up until where you are right now, being on the brinks of making this a reality and bringing it to fruition? What has been the most rewarding for him? What have you seen, or what have you guys accomplished where you looked at Stephen and could see he was excited or there was some joy in what was happening?
I would say it was the first time we went to the Lego store in Fairfield. They're a franchise now. It's a great thing.
Mhm.
And they have a big bin of used Legos that you can go and fill up containers by the ounce with. And the first time we went there, he was just beside himself with joy. He was just, exploding. It was a little difficult because he kept running behind the counter and, wanted to touch everything. They have fabulous displays there, but they were incredibly patient. They were very good with him. And the first time we actually had to do what I didn't want to do, but my partner is very good with him. And he took Stephen out to the car for just a break. It wasn't a punishment, but he just needed that break because he was just so excited. He gets very hyper, with the stimming, gestures and so on, and would not keep his Legos separate from the store's Legos and things like that. But now he's perfectly calm, doesn't need to be reminded at all. And we had his launch party for the business there on his 65th birthday in April. And he was perfect the whole time. He was excited. He was really happy, but he's calmed down enough. So for me, it was also realizing that they were going to be able to work with him. And we actually planned the party to include his former housemates. That didn't work out. I hope we can do other things like that, though. But they planned a wonderful party for him where everybody got to make a Lego car. It was, or vehicle of some kind, and a lot of them looked like from the future. And then they had these tracks that you could race them on. So everybody was engaged, and it was a very happy occasion. So
That's
we've been building a relationship with them for about 6 months now.
That's
And they're
amazing.
very excited. Their assistant manager actually worked as a coach with this population, with I think it was softball. So he's one of the consultants that we want to bring on because he knows a lot about the merchandising end of it. And he said right away, well, where you can make money is with the mold that you make. So that's what we want to look into. And he knows things like we could use the griffin from Alice in Wonderland, which my partner's son drew a beautiful version of. And that wouldn't be stepping on any toes, but it would be kind of a subtle reference to Harry Potter. So we
Excellent.
can leverage it without invading their territory.
I appreciate everything that you said. And I just want to acknowledge one thing that I think is going to be a theme for us in a lot of these interviews, which is community. And I appreciate the fact that you mentioned that. And if I could leave you with one last question, I think we've learned that Stephen's story and his journey is very unique. However, there are plenty of other people who may have a closely similar journey or one that is unique as well. And so what would be the advice that you would give these people if, they're watching this and they think that their loved one would benefit from starting their own business, but, maybe they're just unsure about some things? What would you say?
I think the main thing would be the discovery I made early on because of Darlene Bourret, which is that anything is possible. And he may not actually be able to make the soap because that could be dangerous, especially if it got lye in it and it's hot. We haven't, tried that with him yet because he does get really excited. But there'll be plenty of other roles for him, and it'll be something for him to be really engaged in and proud of. As he knows something's going on, that we're all involved in something, but he doesn't know quite yet what it is. And my vision for it is that we're all getting these backpack. Can you see that? I know it's hard with mine is reflective silver. They're shaped like
nice.
Legos.
Okay.
And they come in Lego colors like red and blue and green. And so we all four of us each have one, and that we'll make brown and go to the suppliers or the distributors and replenish their supply as we go. We're also going to be going into looking into AI assisted 3D printing and things like that. So we'll be going to a lot of different places where Stephen can learn and see what's going on and see what's involved. And we're going to try and kind of have this uniform with these Lego backpacks that we're all going to wear, and that he will enjoy that as the Lego man, and that it's a public role for him. As
It sounds like you're thinking of everything.
we're trying.
Yeah.
It's inspiring all of us.
Well, we really
thank
appreciate
you so much,
coming
Marjorie
today.
and Stephen.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if Stephen, we could just say goodbye to him. Is he right there?
He's hovering around. He's doing his thing, which is refusing.
Well, thank you,
to
Stephen, if you can hear me, for participating
Thank
today,
you.
for being here.
Stephen,
And
you wanna come
Marjorie,
here?
thank you. And we're going to follow you and see how this journey moves forward with the soap making. We'll love to see that final product. But thank you so much for being here today.
Thank
well,
you.
thank you so much for everything. This is wonderful, and it's the perfect way to counter what's going on right now in Washington. So I want to say thank you especially for that. And I
Thank
hope
you.
it will help people understand why this kind of thing is so important.
Thanks, Marjorie. We really appreciate you coming today. And so
Thank you.
next we are going to interview Emma's Pearls. We're going to have Emma and Donna come on screen. I think I saw you a little earlier, so let me make sure we have you spotlighted. All right.
So Emma's magazine cover is Down to Business. And I think we're going to find out that Emma is quite the local superstar. She was just featured on the news. So let's get right into it. Trevor, do you want to stop sharing so we can see? Okay, great. So Emma and Donna are here today. Emma, we have met with you on many occasions, so we've really gotten to know you very well. So the first question I would ask is the question we would ask everyone is, when did you start your business? And can you tell us a little bit about how this all came to be?
You can't think of it? No. All right, we
Okay,
start-
so how about the honey cakes, right?
No, let my mom do it.
You're
My
gonna
mom.
get a
No,
little
but you gotta
assistance?
talk
Okay.
too. You gotta talk too. So what do we make? We started in 2022. My husband and I created the business for her. And what do you do, Em? What do you make? No, honey cakes. Honey cakes, yeah.
And for all of the parents that may be watching, the favorite honey cake of all is which one, Emma?
Oh my gosh. I can't.
I know it has a vegetable in it, and a lot of parents would be really
Oh, okay,
happy
yeah,
if their kids
yeah.
ate vegetables.
Which one is it? No, chocolate zucchini.
Chocolate
Chocolate
zucchini.
zucchini.
I mean,
You
who
know,
would have
I've
thought that
tried it.
people want that, right?
You'd
That's
never
their
know there's a
favorite.
vegetable in there. It is so delicious, Emma.
Yes. It's my favorite.
Well, I can't wait to try it. That's awesome. So, so why did you want to open the business in the first place?
No, I have a purpose in the future.
I love that. That is so special. Good for you. That's amazing.
Yep. And I was just going to say, and you know, Emma, we share that. For many of us, the work that we do gives us purpose. And so we appreciate you saying that. And so tell us a little bit about what the process looks like. You know, in the interview, we quickly picked up on the fact that you are the boss. This is your business and you run it. And so tell us about some of the things that happen in the business. What has to be done?
Make sure you have everything baking, right? Yeah. Everything's measured. And everything's measured. And yes. Nisana, I try not to be emotional. No, I try to just take a breath.
Okay.
It's
Well,
understandable.
I did hear some of the things you mentioned. So you have to, one, you have to have the ingredients. You have to measure the ingredients to make sure that you're making it precisely the same every time. You want to tell us a little bit about some of the other types of cakes that you have? So obviously Kate's is the chocolate zucchini. She cannot get over that. Well, what are some of the other ones that are like maybe more traditional, or what are some of your customer favorites?
No lemon.
Oh, lemon, that sounds amazing.
Carrot. No, or
Mm.
pumpkin or gingerbread.
Nice.
Pumpkin and gingerbread sounds delish.
Do you have an example of the molds? Did you take one out so we could see it?
You have a cake.
You have an
All
actual
wrapped.
cake. Perfect. So it's shaped in
Yeah,
the
what
form
kind-
of a beehive.
Yep, then a beehive mold.
Awesome.
And how'd you come up with that?
The honey company.
Okay. And then my second question would be, obviously, the name of your business is Emma Pearls. Tell us a little bit about where the Pearls name came from.
No, I have it right here on my neck.
Very nice.
And
And where did you get those pearls?
my grandmother.
Oh, your grandmother. Very nice. So there's a
She
sentiment.
She cried on my neck. And
Aw.
she's just my favorite person.
Aw.
Oh, that's beautiful. I know she's very, very proud. You took something that she gave you and you've now motivated that into a business, which is spectacular. I know she's very proud.
So Emma, I have another question for you, which is along the lines of something that we asked Marjorie and Stephen. What advice would you give other people who want to start their own business, but maybe they're a little bit nervous about it?
No, I'm not nervous.
Oh, I know you're not, but what if someone else was interested in starting their business and they felt a little nervous? What would you say to them?
And don't give up.
Don't give up.
Mm.
That's great.
It's a very good piece of advice. Mom, is there anything you'd like to add to that advice?
Find what your young adult loves. Like Marjorie found Stephen Legos and bubbles, and that was just amazing to think about putting that together. So Emma's been cooking for a long time, helps him with dinner, and then this came out of a honey company, but it's just find what they love to do and run with it in some way, shape, or form, if you can. If not, find another avenue, so, and you need people to support you. You really do. She's got her sisters. She has the Southington Honey Company. She has directors. Librarians love her and know her. So get in your community so they know what you're doing is a big part of it.
I
And
appreciate that.
is that how, Emma, you found yourself being interviewed for television, for the news? Because you're out in the community so much?
Please, okay.
Like, can I say
Beans and Company up in Avon, which is, you've got to look them up. They are Beans and Company Cafe. Yeah, Trevor, you know about them. They hire special needs young adults out of the Farmington ARC. So Emma worked there for about a year. We sold there this past February, and Sarah Cody keeps an eye on what's going on at Beans. So she picked up on Emma's Instagram and gave us a call. That's how that all happened. And she's a big proponent of special needs young adults and businesses and what they do for Channel 8 News. But I think this was her last week, but she was amazing. She just is such a champion for special needs young adults.
Very
So
nice.
that's how that happened.
We talk about champions all the time, people advocating and getting the word out there, and really highlighting, the good points and the purpose behind supporting individuals who are doing the entrepreneurial route and having their own businesses and being their own boss, like we know that you are, Emma.
Yeah.
And I do have to add, we've obviously met prior to today, and Emma is quite stylish. She had a very nice hoodie on in one of our interviews. So I had to say that about you, Emma, because we have that connection. But I definitely want to thank you both for being here. You did an amazing job. Appreciate you having a product on hand to show us. Emma, we have to, I personally want to try the, it's not gingerbread, is it?
Pumpkin.
I think she said that.
Pumpkin. Yes, I must try the pumpkin flavor. But we certainly appreciate you being here, and thank you very much. And we will also be looking forward to watching you on the news as well. Just putting that out there. And also another point.
I keep watching it all night because
You
it
know-
is my drink of truth.
That's
Aw.
amazing. We absolutely love that. And I want to highlight too the amazing job that was done on your magazine cover. And folks can find your social media there as well. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Great. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much,
Thank you.
Donna. Thanks, Emma.
Good
Thank
to talk
you.
to you again. Bye, Trevor. We'll see you. We'll see you at getting ice cream.
I'll see you. I told
Don't
you, I'm gonna
say
have
that.
you over to see my garden. Don't worry.
Yes. Yes. Sounds good. Bye, guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. That was great, but guess what? It's gonna keep on going because we have another amazing entrepreneur who's gonna come and share her story now as well. So Kat, are you there? Kat and Amy?
Well, and Trevor, I just want to add that Kat's cover says all business all the time because this is one busy young lady, as we're going to hear about. So is Kat here?
Say hi.
Let's spotlight her. Let me. There we
Okay,
go.
there
Hi,
we
There
Kat.
she goes.
Hi, Kat.
Hi.
And we'll stop sharing just so we could see you better. Okay, there we go. Hi, Kat. It's good to see you again.
Yeah. Hold on. Gotta wait till they ask, right?
So today we're really focused on this new business enterprise that you have called Cat's Cafe. I know last time you gave us a little tour of the site. Daryl, do you think we would want another tour today so that our audience can see?
We would absolutely love it. That was the first thing I was going to mention. Show us where you are.
I was going to
Would
be
that be
afraid you were
okay?
gonna say, yeah, I was going to afraid you were going to say that when program ran late, my helper left and she's like, I left you with a sink full of dishes and a counter of dog treats. I'm like, that's okay. I'll have time to do it. And I never did. But we can show you. It's okay.
Yeah, whatever
Okay,
you're
great.
comfortable
Show
with, I
us
think
what
Yeah.
you
we'll be
feel.
happy.
We like it.
No, I'm just not going to show you the sink. That's all. So this is our Cat's Cafe. Well, we started out with dog treats to begin with, and so this is Cat's Cafe. So this was Lydia. She was coloring, and we have our display. We now have a window display. That can you see it?
Yep.
Yep.
This is our window display with our dog treats. So we did, I know it's Cat's Cafe, but this is how we started out. And these mugs will be for Cat's Cafe, so they can get their discount on their coffee and iced coffee and stuff. And this is our coffee bar. We did a little remodeling since the last time you saw us. And then our, this is our residential kitchen because we couldn't afford the suppression system or the hood system or anything like that. And these are the dog treats with the messy counter. But our new coffee station, our Max Snacks, so we are in the process of re-cleaning it and changing it over. But I did start this business for Catherine, started about 4 years ago as Max Snacks. And we make dog treats right now. And we'll continue to make dog treats. But we got Mac from a friend of mine started with me as well because her son was Down syndrome. But as we moved up the ladder with DDS, she didn't want to go any further. So we got Mac from, her son is Matthew, mine is Amy, hers was Carrie and Kat. So it's no dog in the business here. But we did, that's how we got Mac, Matthew, Amy, Carrie, Kat. And serving pups because dog treats, and then people and a purpose for a purpose. And my purpose was doing this for Catherine was to know that she always had a job. The older I get, I just need to know that Kat is secure. And she does work in the school system as I self-direct her. So she does work in the school system, but it started at 4 days a week, and now she's down to 2 days a week. And next year, I'm not really quite sure if it's going to be 1 or if it's going to be at all with the way that we're going with budgets. And she is at the low man on the totem pole. So she could get cut at any time. And I don't want that to happen and have her sit around and stay idle for long because Catherine Kimball does not like to stay idle. She is like the mayor of North Stonington here because Catherine kind of paved the way for adults who are challenged and have need a little extra love and care. The selectman is one of Catherine's biggest supporters. He comes in. We did have some new shirts made since we talked to you last. I don't know if you can see the logo. It says Max Snacks,
Very
and on the
nice.
back it says never forget that you matter. So we did have those made up that we will be putting online. We do have some that are online now. We do have a merchandise store, but Catherine wants to show you our dog treats that these are freshly made today. They're hearts and their bones. What do you make them out of, Catherine? What do we make them out of?
Carrot,
Don't tell me, tell them.
carrots,
Peanut butter,
peanut butter,
banana,
banana,
applesauce,
applesauce, and eggs.
and eggs,
Oh,
and gluten-free flour.
no, you don't.
Gluten-free flour. She wanted to show you some of the molds that we make, that we use. Can you see them in the screen? You gotta lift them up.
Oh,
And then- so those are Halloween ones, and then these are some bagel ones that we make, dog donuts or bagels. So Kat loves her coffee, and that's where we got the coffee shop. As we did this, I became a vendor for DDS. So we are a certified life skills program for DDS. Max Snacks is. And then I said, well, I got Max Snacks up and going. What can I do for Catherine to make it more instead of just the dog treats? Now this is, yes, Max Snacks is the vendor, but what can she do? And she loves her coffee. She loves to make her coffee. So she now has what?
Cat's Cafe.
Cat's Cafe.
How about we're open Friday?
Tell them.
We'll be open Friday.
We will start opening on Friday because what did we get?
No, you.
Our health certificate.
What are you doing?
We got our health certificate on Friday. So we will, I didn't want to open today after the holiday. So we will open Cat's Cafe officially on Friday. And we have her new sign coming in. We have everything. So she's very excited all weekend. It was supposed to be a holiday weekend and she had me here working like a horse. She had the whip out and everything. She's like, Mom, we got to do this. We got to do this. We got to do this. I'm like, that's okay. We will get it done. So we got most of it done. And she is very, I think, like overstimulated because she's very excited for Friday. And she has some different news to tell you because we have changed our hours and she can explain why we changed our hours.
Oh, no.
Go ahead, tell me. Why did we change our hours?
Cause my brother.
What did your brother say? That people go to work at 7. Tell her.
No, you.
So my son says, Mom, normal people go to work at 7 a.m. You have to open at 6. You cannot open at 7. So Catherine, what did you say?
I
don't want to get up that early.
I think that's something we could all definitely agree on. Now, 2 things I want to mention very quickly. Before we get into what are some of the different things that are going to be sold at the cafe, right? Like, this is how we're going to get our customers with some of the different things that you're selling, Kat. I did want to point out that you mentioned that Kat does work at a cafeteria as well as has this business. And that is absolutely amazing. I think that that's inspiring for any individual that we provide support to, as well as ourselves. There are many people who are working and choose to be self-employed juxta to working. So that's an amazing thing. And I definitely wanted to point that out. And I do hope that that does inspire other individuals to know that even our individuals who are already working, they may be considering self-employment, and it's something that they could do while working as well, as Kat is definitely proof of that. But back to my main question, please tell us, what are some of the things that are going to be sold in the cafe?
Don't tell them, tell them. Are you going to sell orange juice or what are you making?
Coffee.
And
Coffee.
Tea.
Look at the computer.
And tea.
And baked goods.
Baked goods.
Okay.
And what's the other thing we got a blender for?
Almost 6.
Oh,
Very nice. Okay, those are all delicious things that I know everyone on this call at least found something that they would like to purchase. And that's amazing. And you also talked a little bit about your connection with the community. You mentioned some of the regulars that Kat has. Maybe you want to talk a little bit about that. Kat, who comes to see you? Who comes to purchase things?
My family.
Okay, yes, family is definitely important. Anyone else from the community?
We do. We have a lot of people who, it's really funny because we're on like a main strip. We're in a small town, but we're on the main strip on the way to the casino. And a lot of townspeople are like, I see this Max Snack sign going up. What is it? What is it? What is it? So I went over to the package store the other day because we got an ice machine. And I said to them, if you ever need ice, like just come across. I'm trying to be a nice neighbor. I said, come across and let me know because we do have an ice machine now for our milkshakes. But me, with the funding, just so everyone knows, the funding did buy an ice machine for Cat's Cafe. It's a wonderful one. It's like our new best friend and the kids love it. Catherine loves it. Our individuals that work here at Max Snacks, they're like getting their own ice now. So it's really nice that they're enjoying it as well. But as I said, we're next to the package store. We're here all hours of the night. Like we're here at night. Sometimes we eat dinner here because we just want to be here. Well, Catherine made $110 like 3 Thursdays ago from just the people leaving the package store, seeing that we were here, coming to buy dog treats. I know. I said, hey, whatever it takes to make the money, right, Kat? But she sold dog treats to them and some milkshakes. Like we didn't, with our health certificate, we didn't do, so they have to make a donation. So we didn't sell any of that, but they made her a donation, and that's what she does. And she loves it. People come in here whenever they see my car, they'll stop, and Kat opens the door for them, shows them around. Who's one person that comes in here all the time? Mike?
No, you don't.
No.
Mike.
And what did he give you?
$1.
And what did he do to it?
Put
He signed it.
a sign. I'm not here.
This one man comes in. He comes in faithfully all the time, and Catherine only
No.
Catherine can make him his coffee. You make Mike his coffee? And he gave her first $1 bill, and he signed it, and we taped it to the wall because he said, Kat, you got to put it on the wall. If you're going to be famous, I'm going to be famous. So they did that together. And I just want to compliment you on her magazine cover. That was at the Groton Police Department. Kat is
No.
very good. They're very good to Catherine. We bring Chase, her dog, some treats every now and again, and she can't wait to come in now to have coffee. So we
With
sent
Chase.
with Chase. Yes, she will bring Chase,
My favorite dog.
your favorite dog. Yes, and we sent her the cover, and she loved it. She said, "This is
Aw.
awesome."
Well, you know what? That brings me to a question about the cover, because I noticed we put your logo on there, and there's a horse. And then I think you had a slogan, it's not what you take away, but what you take in. So maybe you could just, Kat, tell us a little bit about why you chose the horse and why you chose that slogan. Does it have a special meaning to you?
Why did you choose the horse? Why did you want the horse on your cover, on your sign? Why? Do you like horses?
I like horses.
What do you like to do?
Ride on a horse.
Wow. Are you
Very
good?
nice.
That's great. And you've
And why
had that
did you think
experience
that's
for a
cool?
while? Have you?
Well, probably 6, 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah, that's a good amount of time.
Mhm.
She started at a place that my sister
Purpose.
in Mystic that wasn't therapeutic. And I was a little nervous. I was a little apprehensive, but my sister's like, no, they're really good. But then Kat had a little scare. So we're like, well, maybe we should go more therapeutic. So she started riding at, where'd you ride at?
High hopes.
Yep. And then we found out Kat may have some health issues going on. So we stopped for the safety of it, but we just got some clearance that we could try it, knock on wood, we could try it again. And so I told her after the summer, because the summer will be too busy for her, that we could start riding again if her health stays with it the way it is.
That's amazing. I really, really appreciate you being here today, Kat. I could tell that you were very comfortable in this interview from when we first met, and I love that. Amy, I want to thank you very much for being here as well. Before we move on to the next part, I do want to give you guys this opportunity, as we've given everyone else. Is there any advice that you would like to leave with an individual who is considering, being self-employed?
Catherine has something to say. What did you need to say? Don't be scared.
Don't scare.
Just do it
Just do it.
and have someone help you. Have someone help you.
Have someone help you.
That's amazing. That's really good advice. I think we've definitely learned that having a support system and making these decisions and venturing into being, your own boss and entrepreneur is very important. So we want to thank you again from the EDS unit and EDS for being here.
What do you say?
Thank you.
Oh, you're more than welcome.
Thank you. I think
Thank
we're going
you.
to plan a road trip to Cat's Cafe one of these days for the EDS unit.
I
For
think
sure.
Check it out.
you need to go. And Kat is pointing at something that she wants to say.
My caseworker just
Her caseworker. She noticed that her caseworker is on there. Who is it?
Keith Johnson.
She noticed
Well,
that
check
Kate-
out the chat. Maybe she put something in the chat for
Oh,
you, Kat.
She did. That's why Kat's pointing and
Oh.
laughing, because she sees that Kate put it in there.
Oh, nice.
It's
Kat's
amazing.
a huge Kate Johnson fan.
That's
And thank
great.
you all for your time.
Thank you
Yes,
so
thank
much.
you.
Do you want to wait?
Mute it.
All right. So we're now gonna turn it over. We have some video interviews recorded, but before we do, I think we wanted to see if Darlene, if you wanted to say anything and maybe help us introduce some of the individuals you work with if you're still here. I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but I saw that you're here.
Sure, I'm here. And I just want to say kudos to the employment group. This is an amazing presentation. I'm really enjoying it. You know, I'm on board with all the micro business programs out there, and everyone's doing a great job, and it's new and we're all learning together. And I think that's really the excitement that I'm hearing and the fun, everyone's new experiences as we move forward. So I'm moving forward this year with a lot of the boring stuff, benefits and taxes and things like that. But I'm excited because I'm a lawyer and that kind of stuff is fun for me. But I love hearing about all these stories. It's really, really exciting to do something that you have a kernel of an idea of, and then you go from idea to product to community. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. So I'm going to introduce these videos. We have 3 videos. They're very short. They're from Ted, Marilyn, and Stephen. Which one's first? Do you know which one's first?
I can move around. So if you have a,
Okay.
I think I have Ted first.
Let me start with Ted. So I love Ted's story. I don't know which part he says in the interview, I forget, but he started off, he loves Mustangs and vintage cars. And so we started selling travel mugs that had vintage cars on them. And so we'd go to the farmer's market, and Ted, and I just want to add, the individuals that I work with all require one-to-one support, and not everybody has family support. And so you'll find with these businesses, you do need help. And so it's been my real honor to work with these individuals and help them. And so Ted started off selling the mugs, and then we were at the farmer's market 2 years in a row. And by the second year, his mugs weren't selling that good. And he starts looking around and he's like, I think I want to make chocolate. And it was such a wonderful entrepreneur moment, because it wasn't just, oh, he likes cars, so we're going to make cars. He was a businessman. He went from entrepreneur of, I want to work what I'm interested in, to I want more money. I want to make some money. So I'm just so impressed with him. And so his video is his, I believe, talking about his new business.
No, we can get it. See.
Oh, great job, Ted. So Marilyn, she wanted to make candles, and she can speak Spanish, so she named her business Happy Velas, and that means candles. And so we started off making iced coffee candles. And then she just got so good at it. And once she started accumulating, first you make enough money so now you can buy your inventory. Well, she mastered that. Then she was making so much money. She's like, I want to upgrade. I want to make better. So she found these beautiful, beautiful candles. They're like iridescent vessels, and then she has this beautiful scent that you can get at like the Ritz Hotel, that in their spa, you can buy those kind of scents. And so she really has amazing candles. So she's going to share some information about their candles. Okay. Ah, yeah, that was another thing that came out with Marilyn's business is like she said, besides doing something she likes, it smells good, you make money. She likes how it calms her down. Don't we all? Wouldn't we all like a job like that that makes us calm instead of quite the opposite? Uh, so the last one is Stephen, and Stephen, I've told this story with his permission in the past. He used to live in a place where he couldn't choose what he ate, and so food is very important to him. And so when I started working with him, I learned that about him, and so we really wanted to help him make a barbecue sauce. And I just learned when doing the interview that his family had made barbecue sauce in the past. So take it away, Stephen. Well, that's those three. They've been great. So we're going to the farmers market, and I think we last year we went from 3 businesses at the farmers market to 7, and I think we might even be doing more this summer. It's just a great way to connect with the community, and everybody really enjoys seeing everybody else there. All the vendors really enjoy each other.
And Darlene, it's Brian. Just wanted to reiterate just how fantastic it is going out to a farmer's market because we've actually visited, and what a great opportunity for these folks to really promote their businesses. It's if anyone has an opportunity to actually get out there. When does it start for the season? Has it started already?
End of June, so we've
End of
still got
June.
a while, but
All right, so we have to
need
wait.
time. We gotta make more items.
I
Is
live
there-
in the Middletown area, and so I saw on Facebook the poster, and they have a poster already. They're starting to advertise that they have the farmers market, and they have on there that they have all different goods. It's not just the farmers market anymore.
So
Yeah,
We'll
I
be
just wanted to
stopping
also-
by for sure.
Yeah, and I just wanted to echo again what Darlene, what you'd mentioned before is these are folks who have, your higher lawns, and there's such a there's such a tale that's being spun that folks, who have some more challenges, that employment's not an option for them, and that's absolutely not the case. And whenever I see these stories, it's just inspiration. I mean, for us, hopefully, and for inspiration for everybody who's interested in finding employment that works for them. It's you really been out front of a lot of this, and it's been really a delight to partner with Futures, but also just with all the other individuals. So if you're a case manager, or you're a parent, or you're an individual who's maybe thinking employment's not for them, this is something that you could really you should really take a look at. It's something that uh, it pushes the narrative forward. I think a lot. I think a lot of times we're told who we are, and when I meet folks like Stephen and the other ones, it's just it's taken back your story,
that's
and
exactly right.
it's what a wonderful way to do it. You're part Be out there in the community, and you get to say who you are, and you get to decide what your story is going to be. So that's for me. And I always talk about employment. It's always the employment piece, and it's always the yes and piece. Yes, they have a job, and now they're connected to their community in really meaningful ways. So it's something that I know my unit we're really high on, and we're just appreciative to all the entrepreneurs and then the providers who are and supports who are all helping make these dreams come true.
I just wanted to shout out to the High Lawns also, and my son, he's a very high level of need, and so when he goes out into the community, he's very, very loud, and he makes very, very loud sounds, and he otherwise he's nonverbal. And so I really didn't want him to be known as just, oh, there's that guy that makes loud sounds and I don't know much about him in the community, because he's gonna be out in the community. But he goes out to visit to deliver his fire starters to Good Cause Gifts, which is right in the center of West Hartford Center. And he high fives the cashier there, and they all know him, and they all say, "Hi, Ben." And he's known as the guy who makes the fire starters. And I just think just a great way of being known and not being feared. And I really like that's his identity, and I'm hoping how he sees himself.
Perfect.
We're
And
down to our last 5 minutes of the forum, and I want to shout out to the team because you packed this forum with information and inspiration. And I think back to just not so long ago, right, when we were talking about the definition of employment. And what does that mean, and how important it was to make sure that self-employment was included? Because, hey, of the range of employment options, and we saw this with the Mentimeter quiz, right? Self-employment is an option that's right for some people. And so as I've been listening to the different presentations, I was taking notes as I normally do, and I have so much on my pad of paper that I can't even, I started going up the margins, and I'm thinking about, the gift ideas and the fact that I have I think I've got the candles, I've had the fire starters, I've had the chocolates. I'm definitely going to get out to the cafe. I had my first Emma's Pearls cake. These are great businesses. These are great products. The quality is great. The packaging is great. The marketing is great. We heard about Instagram accounts, and we heard about soft launches at the Lego store. And these are things that businesses do. And so one of my questions, and if it's possible, if presenters can just put their, like, how would we go about purchasing your product? If it's through social media, if you can just put your Instagram account, if there's a website you have, but I'm sure people are interested in that. And I know that we're down to our last few minutes. There were a ton of just props in the chat. I always keep my eye on the chat, and here I have so many emojis. How do you translate like sparkling stars into a communication? But clapping hands, I mean, a lot of really, really good positive feedback. Darlene, I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge your role in where we are today. You know, when we heard about you connecting with Stephen and his sister around, you know, could this be possible? And your enthusiasm and your belief that this is an option for anyone who chooses this option has proven to be true. There's nobody who cannot be successful in their own micro enterprise. And we've seen that. We've seen that time and time again. So I want to acknowledge you. We did put the video of Emma's interview on WTNH. There is a longer version of this that features our own Trevor Rogers, who was also interviewed, but just phenomenal to get that kind of coverage. We got lots of kudos, especially those shirts. And how exciting, Kat, that you're here with us today, right before your cafe opens, like a grand opening coming up this Friday, and we're some of the first to hear about it. So if there, you mentioned that you're in North Stonington, but if we can find out a little bit more about where Kat's Cafe is located, because I'm sure that there are people on this call that'll want to come out and visit. A lot of thank yous. This has been informational, inspirational, and there was one question about the $5,000. The $5,000 grants, and can they be utilized in with an ABLE account? And does one of our EDS team members want to respond to that?
I was actually just about to respond. We just went to a webinar hosted by the ABLE National Resource Center, so I'm going to put a link in the chat with some resources, because they just created a new webpage that's all about how does ABLE intersect with self-employment. So I'm going to put that in there because they have better information than I could give.
We like to connect people back to the direct sources, so that's perfect. Thank you.
I just put that in right now. There's a fact sheet and there's a webinar, and it's really informative. They really break it down, what can be used from an ABLE account for self-employment.
So I think I want to end today's forum with my takeaway, and this applies to so much in life. Don't be scared, just do it. And if you need to have somebody help you, I think those were incredible words of wisdom, and I am so excited to have shared in this forum with you today. So thank you to all of our presenters. Have a wonderful afternoon, everyone.